I'd like to thank all the speakers of the day for making excellent presentations. Though we are running into the cocktail time, we thought still we'll have about 15 to 20 minutes interaction. I request all the speakers to come to the dais. We'll provide chairs. And I'll leave it to some of the sponsors to decide, because some of the sponsors had multiple lectures like Rolta and TCS. They can decide whom they want to put them on the stage. So I request Andy, Mr. Nandakumar, Mr. Sarangpani, Mr. Ajay Lile, Siemens, Stiag, L&T, Bentley, Rockwell. Can you please come to the dais, and then we'll try to take some field questions because we're really running short of time. Some hand mics, some 3-4 hand mics. Any sponsors, any speakers missing? Can you please, I request them to join. Yeah, any person wants to raise some questions to the panel. It's not necessarily the speaker, the topic what is selected, you need to answer. It can be answered by any of the panel members. Anybody. If there are no questions, of course, I'll close it pretty sharp, fast. Okay.
Hello. This question for Mr. Andy. This regarding this cloud computing. So you mentioned about this anything above MES and this thing. This can move to cloud and this thing. But at the same time, we are talking about this smart plants and intelligent DCS and this thing. So where do you see that this will be the clear-cut demarcation? Means what are the, in terms of say asset performance management or this thing on the long run, where ideally they will be residing on the DCS side, or maybe towards the cloud side.
I'm not quite sure if I understand your question, but I think MES, there may be some functionality in MES that has to stay in plant that perhaps is critical, but there is most of the MES system functionality is generally can be moved to the cloud, because you are lot of it is just you are generating reports, you're making sense of the data. So a lot of that kind of functionality can be moved to the cloud. In fact, some companies are starting to just offer MES solutions in the cloud. So if you have some suppliers, you can't, they have to redo their MES systems to make sure that some of the critical functions stay in the plant as part of the DCS, and whereas other functions can be moved to the cloud. So as I mentioned in my talk, you simply can't take the software companies have and just move it to the cloud. Companies have to really restructure their applications so that they function well in the cloud. And I'm really hoping that automation companies can start to offer more MES solutions and historical data solutions, other optimization solutions in the cloud. And we are starting to see that some companies have already announced availability, or they will have these applications available in the cloud. But I think definitely over the next year, you will see most of the automation companies will start to offer MES systems in the cloud.
Okay, thank you.
So we have been perhaps hearing all the plus points about these technologies, various business analytics and intelligence and total integration. But what are the impediments and what are the hurdles? Because some of the recent technologies like wireless, Profibus, foundation field based have not yet been implemented, although they had all the plus points.
Some of the impediments that we could see or I could see is from the plant floor side, like basically the people aspect is one of the major impediment I see. Technology is there, and probably as the requirements will be there, you will go on like in implementing the technology and making the information or data available for the BI or analytics, whichever is required. But the cultural change that is required to support these kind of initiatives is something that is a major thing that I think should come.
Now, you talked about Profinet and all that, no? It also gets linked up to what the user expectations on the response times. Some of the response times required, whether it is a process industry or a power plant, that makes a decision what kind of technology you want to put it in place. As the technology advances are taking place today, we had a presentation on Profinet after Profibus improvements where it talks about microseconds of response time. So definitely it will get into place. And as we discussed yesterday, some of the utility specifications call for 2 years operating experience. So people in some of the processes may not like to jump into new technology just because it's announced. So as we talked yesterday, the plant has to be quite safe. So keeping all these things in mind, there can be a gap between availability of a technology and to introduction, because we cannot afford to put the plants or assets in difficulty.
Verification
This
track record.
No, these discussions will go on. See, some of the utilities put these conditions pretty stringently, 2 years. Some other utilities do not put that. So you know very well, in the country we have plants running with latest technologies, especially in the process industries and even in some of the power plants. But it depends on the utilities' confidence to introduce a new technology. Okay. But right now you know that, as if you take it, India, we are practically current in many technology implementation. If you take IT, we are practically quite, in my view, quite ahead in what solutions we can provide. Concurrent technology introductions of, like, say, mobiles. If you take process industry is always ahead in introduction of new technology in control systems. Power plant, people are always little skeptical. They want to be sure that the power plant availability is not endangered on account of new technology. Then you have so many other reasons when the specification is drawn. You have repeat sets coming up in the same plants. Customers want to optimize their spares. The experience, the investment, what they have put in training engineers. There are whole lot of factors when you look at the scenario of new technology introduction. So each field has its own, plus and minus points. Ultimately, the end user decides where does he want to put the new technology concurrently, or he wants to have a slightly delayed.
Hi, this is Amit here, and I have a question related to security. Um, so, especially for Mr. Sarangpani and probably Mr. Lele.
Yes.
So, I would like to know, this is a question regarding security. What are your thoughts about application whitelisting, and have you evaluated it in deployment for any of the DCS vendors so far?
Pardon, can you just repeat?
Yeah, what are your thoughts about application whitelisting on DCS systems, and have you evaluated any of the systems for it so far?
No, this we have not evaluated as of now, the whitelisting part actually. Because ultimately what is happening is that whitelisting as an alternative to the firewall technology, that is still, if you see, it has not come as a benchmark. It is still come in certain areas. So it is still not evaluated for any DCS. We have not done.
But
So far, not done. Actually.
Right, but would you look at it as an additional layer of
Yeah,
security?
definitely. In fact, not only whitelisting, there are so many, security technologies which have to be evaluated. One example I'll give you. There are, for example, we are transferring the data from the DCS to the enterprise network. So more or less our data, if you see, is of unidirectional. In fact, really don't need any data back forth from the IT LAN to the process control LAN. So unidirectional gateways are also one such technology where the handshaking is also done through a separate, mechanism. So once the handshaking is not done, because it's a unilateral thing, and the session creation, which is always a bidirectional, is not done through the bidirectional technology which is there, it is much more secure. A hacker, for entering to any system, has to establish a bidirectional communication. So if you have a unidirectional gateways, they are very, in fact, in this context of process control domain, they are very, useful. But still, what happens is that there are so many factors. When you introduce a technology, we have to see whether, apart from the experience, which Ganapati Ram have already told, there are many other factors, whether the DCS vendor will be able to integrate that product into his design, whether he has got the experience, the DCS vendor has got the experience with this, such whitelisting or unilateral gateways, that is also to be ascertained. So step by step, so many things are there by introducing a technology. First of all, the provenness. The second thing, where DCS vendors can offer the solution or not. So we write to them and get a feedback maybe. Then when we introduce to them, we have to see some other criteria. Also, most of the, the power plants, if you see, they are again from the public sector domain. So we have to see availability of multiple vendors. So many issues are there when you introduce a technology. So these are some of the hurdles, as Pandeyji was also doing. Some of the hurdles are these also. But these has, as of now, the unidirectional gateways or whitelisting yet to be evaluated with DCS vendors. It's yet to be done. Yes.
Thank you.
There are no further questions. I would like to thank all the panel members and the interactions we had. Before I conclude, we have the cocktails dinner, Rolta as a platinum sponsor, along with ARC, is being organizing this. And tomorrow we have 3 common sessions, and we have 2 track sessions going on parallelly. One on the electric power, and second one on the process. The process section will take place in the same hall, where the electric power section will take place in the other hall. So tomorrow we'll exactly give the details for the people to choose the sessions. And I hope that all of you will be able to see you tomorrow, so that we can continue the interactions, what we started from yesterday and continuing today, and hope to have a concluding session tomorrow with all of you. Thank you. I just forgot to announce one more thing. I again appeal to all of you to fill up the feedback forms and give the feedbacks so that we can take the improvements for the next forum. Thank you.